is Times Drive and I'm Joel Pereira. Now, reputations are so easy to get and so difficult to lose. Maruti, long acclaimed as the king of the small cars, has a sterling reputation as a manufacturer of cheap, affordable, reliable mass transit for the public. But try as they might, they have not been able to crack into the sedan market. But that reputation that Maruti has is about to change. Say hello to the all-new Ciaz. Maruti has had for the longest time one big fat blister on its otherwise perfect record of domination in every segment it enters. For some reason, they have not been able to, however, make any leeway into the sedan market. As we said earlier, Maruti has built its more than 30-year reputation on the strength of its hatchbacks, but customers haven't taken to having the ubiquitous Suzuki badge on anything that's sedan-shaped. But that's about to change. As with all compact sedans, you're getting two engine options to choose from. There's a 1.3 DDIS diesel, the same engine that you'll find in pretty much every Maruti diesel today. And then there's the 1.4-litre petrol. It's called the K14 and that's what we're driving today. Now this engine's putting out 92.5 bhp and about 130 newtons of torque, which doesn't seem like much considering that this is a large car. But here's something very important. Now this car weighs only 1,000 kilos, about a ton, and that is significant because it's much lighter than all the competition out there. Now the engine is very responsive at low speeds, which is where this car is going to be spending it most of its time, we figure, out in the city. But we've been driving the Ciaz petrol on the highways of Jaipur. Now, considering that this engine isn't very powerful, overtaking is something that you have to plan in advance. It might not be as exciting as the VTEC engine in the Honda City, but it's totally adequate for most of the driving you'll be doing at low to moderate speeds. Now Maruti is claiming a mileage number of 20 kilometers to the litre, making this car the most fuel efficient in its class. We haven't really tested it long enough and we haven't really driven it in the city, so we can't comment. But out on the highway in the real world with the AC on and everything working, we're getting about 14 to 15 kilometers to the litre. The gearbox itself is snappy, the clutch is light and easy to use, but the ratios are spread very wide for efficiency, so that kills some of the effect. Now the engine might be a little underpowered, but where this car really shines is the suspension system. Now the highway from Delhi to Jaipur isn't the best. You've got long straight stretches of flat highway interspersed with a sudden surprising pothole. The Ciaz petrol handles them quite well. Now considering we are driving this car on the pancake flat roads in Rajasthan, we haven't really got a chance to test its cornering abilities. But from what we can gather, it seems quite competent. It's very stable out on the highways and it does seem like it can handle a corner or two. So far, what strikes us the most about the Ciaz is how sensible and practical this car is, which exposes its only flaw. It's perhaps too vanilla to offer any kind of excitement. But if you're the kind of person who wants to go from here to there efficiently and with comfort, you're gonna love this car. Now here's something I found really strange with this car. There is a lot of noise filtering from the engine into the cabin. And I can't decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because on the one hand, yes, it is noisy, but on the other hand, it's a pleasant, rotty sort of noise. The engine might sound like it's revving hard, but this is a classic case of a lot of sound but no fury. Like we said earlier, this is not a particularly exciting car to look at. It's solidly handsome rather than outright pretty, with enough metal flares and contours to make the Ciaz look modern. The highly detailed front projector headlamps and the big 4-slat chrome grille would have you mistake this car for something more expensive, and that's always a good thing. The design though gets a little awry around the back, and what sticks out is the tail lamp cluster that looks like a lift from the new Honda City. But what is the biggest design feature with this car is the sheer volume. It's half a size larger than the competition, and that's enough to guarantee plenty of road presence. Around the inside too, it's the size and airiness of the cabin that's its biggest virtue over all competitors. The rear legroom is phenomenal, and if you plan to spend a lot of time in the back, you couldn't ask for more. Features-wise, you've got everything that you'd need: a Bluetooth-enabled touchscreen-controlled central console that you'll get with the top-end variant that features controls for your phone, your stereo and navigation, along with climate control and a reverse parking camera. This is also the best quality Maruti interiors we've seen, with chrome ring buttons and soft touch plastics. Now, Maruti have a habit of dominating every category that they belong to, and not crushing the competition in the compact sedan segment must be really hurting them. As we said earlier, the Baleno was quite a non-starter, and the SX4 began well but then petered out really sharply. With the Ciaz though, I think Maruti's got pretty much everything right. Sure, the car's underpowered, but we have a feeling that the target demographic is not going to be bothered too much about that. The interiors are fantastically spacious, you've got plenty of features, and the car looks pretty good too, handsome without being too quirky. Now, this is the pre-launch media test drive. The car is expected to hit the showrooms early to mid-October. So obviously we don't know how much it costs, but as soon as we find out, you'll know too.